Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Meal Prep Sundays with the DFAM. This is the Valentine's edition, and it's Heart Month. So to celebrate Heart Month, we have a very, very special guest. I want to introduce everyone to Dr. Ann Bauman. Let me read you a little bit about Dr. Ann. If you did not have a chance to read your email yet, Dr. Ann Bauman is a board-certified primary care internist who practiced for 25 years. She is active in the American Heart Association at the local, regional, and national levels. She has been a member of the American Heart Association National Board since 2014, and she came personally referred to us by the CEO of the National Heart Association, and that is Nancy Brown. She was also honored as the 2012 American Heart Association Physician of the Year, and she received the Chairman's Award at Scientific Sessions in November 2018. She is a national spokesperson for Go Red for Women, and she's given the keynote address at Go Red luncheons throughout the country. I don't think we could have a better representative for Heart Month than Dr. Bauman. So welcome to Meal Prep Sunday.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Just to tell everybody, technical difficulties, so I'm listening on my phone and speaking through the computer.
So hopefully, if you can add in the chat, if you are watching live, add in the chat if you can hear us or not. We've had lots of technical difficulties, but we wanted to get the show on the road. So we wanted to get going. So Dr. Bauman, one of the things that we always start our show with is our financial updates, because we always say bite by bite, step by step, dollar by dollar, we are getting healthier physically and financially. So I'm going to give a quick update on our financial goal, our progress to goal. Steve and I are checking in at 1.319%. Stevie's at 28% already. Ellie at 3.5%. Teddy is 7.6% to goal. Everybody has a different dollar amount and a different end date. It looks like we have some comments, so let's check. Oh, all perfect. We are getting a thumbs up from the West Coast.
Yay, yay, great.
For letting us know that. And so we always check in with that. And Steve's going to give an update on what we are making tonight.
All right. All of these recipes are from the American Heart Association Cookbook. And they came from Dr. Marie, right?
Well, they came from the American Heart Association.
Okay.
Yes.
They were selected. And we have already made them in our test kitchen once this week. And they are awesome. Out of this world. Really so good and very healthy. So we're making salmon with a cilantro sauce, smashed red potatoes, and that normally for most people that's where you can stop the dinner. Just make about 5 pounds of smashed red potatoes and we're good. And then the third thing is the roasted vegetables with walnut and balsamic and what else?
Walnuts and balsamic reduction,
and then something else is on top.
We'll find
basil.
out when we
That's
get
it.
there.
Chopped basil. That's the thing that brings it all together. It's amazing. So those three things, that's going to be our Valentine's Day dinner.
Yes.
So
we have our dinner table all set up, ready to go. And I do know there are a couple people. Let's see. I know we have Joy and Steve making Valentine's dinner with us. So I want to give a shout out to them. And Dr. Bauman, I wanted to share this with you. Our family's journey with the American Heart Association has been a long one. And this book I found was our very first cookbook that our family purchased after my dad had his first heart event. I just found it when I was doing cleaning last week with my mom. And this, it was printed in 1973. You can see the pages are a little bit yellow, but this was our very first book. So with that being said, welcome.
Well, thank you. And you can tell we've been going for decades trying to get people to eat healthy. And it's so wonderful to have partners like you to help people recognize that healthy food can taste good. So we appreciate working with you.
Oh, healthy food can be so good.
Yes,
These recipes are a perfect example of that. Did you handpick these recipes? I don't know who picked them on your end.
No, these were picked through some of our Healthy for Good staff. And we have this whole program that you can go to heart.org and you will find all of this information about how to live healthy, how to exercise, how to make small steps have big results. So they were the ones who picked these out specifically.
Oh, nice. Well, they did a great job. I want to remind everyone, if you do want today's recipes, you can text family to 616-344-4401 or go to www.dfam.life. The recipes will just magically fall into your mailbox.
And this week we did it a little differently. Normally we type out the whole recipe, but what we're doing this time in partnership with the organization is we're just sending you photos of what we made, but then links that take you straight to heart.org. And you can get all those recipes right there. And if you go there, make sure you check out the whole site. There are so many amazing resources. And what we've been doing every week of February so far is we also include an infographic from the website that just talks about some little dietary, tip or tool. And they are so good and so powerful. So definitely go to heart.org and check out all the different things that they have there. Okay?
Yep, of course. So we're going to have Steve get us started on our first recipe because he has it.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm starting is the smashed red potatoes. It takes a while to boil, so those are already boiling. I'm going to get those going. But an interesting ingredient that surprised me coming from heart.org was buttermilk. It was low-calorie, low-fat buttermilk, and I was surprised. So being, you just think of buttermilk as that it's a really fatty thing, and it really isn't. So I did some research on buttermilk, and sure enough, it's healthier than you think. So this takes the place of maybe full-fat butter that you'd put in your mashed potatoes or something like that, and it's really tasty. Now, warning to everyone, in the recipe it says don't heat this up too much and boil it. I boiled mine, and it's so easy to do. So just warm it up and make sure you don't get to the point where it boils. Warm it up, take it off the heat, and let it go. But you just want to warm this up so it's not like a shock. Hot potatoes, cold buttermilk, and it'll curdle doing that too. So just a tip for those cooks out there. I'm going to go back to work, and I'll let you guys talk, and I'll be right back.
So speaking of that, you and I are not doing much cooking, and you are the heart health guru, but you have a secret weapon. So what's your secret weapon in the kitchen?
My secret weapon is my husband. He has always done the cooking, yep, and the grocery shopping. So that makes it so much nicer.
So
behind every amazing woman is an amazing husband.
That's right.
That can cook.
That's exactly right. Have an amazing husband. It works.
It works. Do you want to weigh in on buttermilk?
Yeah, I think that this is one of the things that I think people need to recognize is that some of these preconceptions we have about what is or isn't healthy is not always true. And milk products are healthy products, and so especially low fat. So we're really talking about low fat milk products are good to be using. Low fat milk is a good part of or skim milk, a good part of a healthy diet. So yes. I'm glad you're using it.
And I remember way back when we changed our diet, my parents raised a family of 6 kids, and we were very much meat and potatoes. My dad had a very high stress job and didn't exercise very much before his first heart event. And pretty much all of the things that you shouldn't be doing, that's what he was doing. And so that was the wake up call. And then we changed our diet. And I remember thinking way back then, buttermilk? Really? It doesn't sound right.
Doesn't compute. You don't think of it that way, but it's so great in a way. It's horrible that your dad had a heart attack, but great that it led to such wonderful changes and your family made changes as opposed to saying, oh, well, nothing we can do. That's a key, making changes.
Oh, we definitely made change. He came home every night and got on the treadmill. We just made substitutions so we could still enjoy our favorite recipes with those different substitutions.
Well, and the other thing is, if I can say, children learn from their parents, right? And so your kids are watching you every single moment of every day. So if you model exercise, eating healthy, eating more fruits and vegetables, they're going to learn that naturally and not have to break bad habits.
What do you say?
I always say more is caught than taught. And your kids will not do what you say, they will do what you do.
Yep, it's very true. Very true.
We talked about you being a speaker, but you are also an author, Fight Fatigue. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, I wrote this book because it was interesting that and studies show that the most common reason that women go to the doctor is because they're tired. And you know, we doctors, I'm a primary care doctor, and we look for all the reasons for why somebody's tired. And lots of times, all the blood work, everything is fine. So we have to look for other ways and reasons why people are tired. And a lot of it is the stress that we're under. And an interesting thing, when I wrote the book, I went on a radio tour all over, you know, to talk to various ones. And I was on a morning show in Canada, and it was a drive-through, and all this drive time, and all of these men were calling in with questions about fatigue. And the announcer finally said, "I thought we were talking about women's fatigue." And he said, "Why are all these men calling in?" But I really do think that as men are taking more and more of the responsibilities around the home that women were doing exclusively, that they're feeling the same stressors with home and work, and how do you manage and how do you balance and do all of that. So it's kind of interesting.
And it is called Fight Fatigue 6. Help me finish
Simple
it.
steps to maximize your energy. And it's actually a mind-body approach to your energy. We tend to think of our energy as you either have it or you don't. But we look at the energy in this as finite. I remember one author I read said it's like you have a bowl of energy, and you do things that take from that every day, and you can do things that put into it every day. And lots of times we take out more than we put in. We don't exercise. We don't get enough sleep. We leave all those things about us till the end of the day, and there's nothing left. And so that's why this is designed to help people look at how you can better make better decisions to do self-care so that you're better able to care for everybody else.
That is such an important message. As I'm trying self-care and spilling all over the front of me, but it has been such a busy day. I need to catch up on my water intake.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to
Easy
those drinks.
to do. That's great.
We are going to get to those drinks in a minute. I know you're very passionate about that. So let's talk about that self-care. And I included a quote in the email that the quote from I think you were talking to one of your patient's daughters, and the daughter said, "My mom needed a wife." Do you want to talk about that?
I will talk about that. This made such an impression on me. It was in quite a number of years ago, probably 12, 15 years ago. And it was Christmas Eve, and I was at home about to have dinner with the family. And I got this call from the emergency room that my patient was in there and had a major heart attack. So I went down. She was in the ICU by the time I got there. And she was in cardiogenic shock, which means that the heart attack so damaged the heart muscle. It was so severe that her other organ systems weren't functioning, the kidneys, everything else. She wasn't perfusing her brain. She was in a coma. And ultimately that night she died. And I was standing outside of her room in the ICU, and her daughter was there. And her daughter said, "My mother needed a wife." I said, "What?" I didn't understand. She said, "A wife would have gotten her to the doctor. A wife would not have let her go without being checked. And I thought about that, and I've thought about it so often. That is so very true. So that's been one of my kind of mantras. My mother needed a wife. When you don't think about taking care of yourself and you're taking care of everybody else. And it's interesting. I was just at a conference call with Nancy Brown, our CEO, this week, and there was a woman on there who almost told the same story again. She took her husband to the emergency room because he was having some chest pain, which turned out not to be cardiac. They checked her blood pressure, and it was through the roof. She was at stroke level of blood pressure, but what was she doing? She was worrying about him. So my plea out there is to take care of yourself, know your blood pressure, know your numbers, because you won't be there for anybody else if you're not. If you're not.
I always say you can't give from an empty well, and if you've got no gas in the tank, you're not going to be of service to other people. So remember
Exactly
that
right.
if you are watching, it is so important to be your own advocate, to make sure that you're seeing your doctor on a regular basis, also doing those important things every single day. Breathing, sleeping, drinking your water, such simple things, and so many of them are free. We just have to make sure that we do them consistently. So we're going to try to bring Ellie on the camera. I have no idea if this is going to work. Ellie, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I think, yeah, we can. So Dr. Bauman, this is our daughter, Ellie. She's got her Valentine's Day glasses on.
Hi.
Hi, Ellie.
It's nice to meet you.
And so Ellie she's just wrapping up her senior year, or her final year at the University of Michigan. Dr. Bauman spent some time in Michigan going to school.
Oh, you did?
I grew up in Michigan. I have two nieces that graduated from U of M, and our oldest son graduated from U of M. So yeah, we have a lot of connections to University of Michigan.
I love that. It's such a great school.
So Ellie, is there anything that you wanted to weigh in on with Heart Health Month, or did you have a question for Dr. Bauman?
No, I was just listening to everything you said about self-care and making sure you can take care of yourself. So a lot of the times, my major is in women's studies, so I focus a lot on all the history and context of modern day women's issues, and especially focusing on women's health. And a lot of the time, women don't take care of themselves, or in doctors' offices, they don't have agency to speak up for themselves, or they're not educated about their own body and they don't know what to expect. So it's really good to hear about doctors like you are speaking up for self-care for women specifically.
I lost a little bit of that at the end there.
Okay, she was saying that it's so nice that doctors like you are out speaking and writing about self-care, because it's so important, and that's what she's learning in her studies, is how important that self-care is for women.
It's so true. And Ellie, you know that as somebody in college and as a young person, you kind of can burn the candle at both ends, and you can get away with that for a long time. The point I always make to young women and men is those habits going, those good habits that you have. It sounds like you do. And if you can encourage your friends as well, to get out and exercise and walk and take good care of yourself, because, you're imprinting things on your body as a young person that are going to last for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and my
Ellie, is there... Oh, say that again. I have to keep going up and down with the volume depending on who's speaking.
I was just going to say that my focus is in self-care. So if it's really stressful time politically, the political climate is really stressful, during the election, for example, we had days where we had self-care days. They just said focus on yourself, or during the election, or during the inauguration, we had our day off so we could sit and think about everything that's gone on. And it's just, we focus a lot on self-care, so it's really, really nice to be in a department that is advocating for you. And I was pre-med for a long time, and taking all those STEM classes is really stressful. So it's a huge relief to have professors that really care about you, and professors that really care about you.
All right. Let's see. All right. I saw Teddy pop on for a second, and now she's gone. Can you hear me, Ellie?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, good. One thing I wanted to just know as a parent, I think it would be interesting for other parents to hear, what are some things that you saw Dad and I do as you were growing up? There are a lot of things that we probably weren't the best role models on, but what were some good things that you saw
Don't
us
talk
do?
about those
We
things.
won't talk about those today.
No, you guys always showed us that you were able to take a break, like together especially. You guys had such like a healthy relationship. You guys took breaks together. You guys didn't have to take a break separately. You guys wanted to be together for that self-care, for like the relationship growth. Because even if you've been married for 20 plus years, you still can show that your relationship can be healthy and you still want to do things together and have your date nights and spend time with your family. And I think that's just a great way. You don't have to like split it up or anything. You always did it together.
29 years of being Valentines.
That's a lot of Valentine.
That is a lot of Valentines.
That's terrific. That's terrific. You know, I always tell my patients that the best thing you can do for your children is to have a healthy marriage. And so to pay attention to that, because sometimes it's easy to focus so much on what the kids need that you forget about that primary relationship. That's really great, Ellie, that you recognize that.
And the thing that I think is really interesting about all the work that Dr. Bauman is doing is that this isn't new. She was doing this in 1990. You were preaching self-care and these messages that are so common today. You started them a long time ago.
I did. You know, in primary care, and you get a chance to follow people for long periods of time. And I could see back even then that, you know, what you do in early parts of our life play a role. So prevention has always been my key. In fact, that's what brought me to the American Heart Association, because I was preaching the mind-body connection and prevention, and asked me to speak. We were living in South Dakota at the time, and somebody asked me if I would give a talk for the American Heart Association, and that really started my involvement, and that was somewhere between 1985 and 1991. So it was 1989. So I've been volunteering for a long time, and age has that message of prevention. It's become front.
I've heard the stories directly from the
and
mouth.
we really believe we can save lives.
Stories of women surviving their heart events. I wanted to introduce you
every day.
Our baby of our family. We have Teddy Drake in the house.
Hi.
Yes.
This is Dr. Mary Ann Bauman. Teddy is at Michigan State. Ellie is at Michigan. And we have one more, Stevie Drake. We're not sure if he's going to have a chance to with us today. But I did want to give him a shout out. He had a in-depth meeting with his internist this week, and he hand wrote all these things that he wanted to discuss with his doctor before he went. He made sure he had the right blood test, everything before he went, and it was very comprehensive visit. So he's adulting now. He's 23, he's going to be 24 in
his
April.
First doctor visit, not on my insurance. How about that? Because he's just out of college.
Yeah, that's great.
I know, it's the little things. All right, you guys. These
kinds of things always.
All right, let's see. What do you want to?
I didn't really help people on making a whole lot.
Okay, well, we're having a little bit of a technical difficulty with our sound, so I can't be as much of assistance as I normally am. These are the smashed potatoes, and I was always curious on what links people are clicking, and I noticed, Ellie, you clicked on the smashed potato link.
Yeah.
Is that my recipe?
It looks so good. I wish you guys could smell that. So what are we doing next?
Okay, next we're doing the veggies. And so the veggies are red bell peppers, orange bell peppers, red onions, portobello mushrooms, sugar snap peas, zucchini, and summer squash. And you start by roasting the red pepper, orange pepper, the onion, and the portobellos in the oven first. They need to cook a little longer. So when those come out, and that's, you just kind of, I don't know if you saw me flipping these around in a little bit of olive oil. This is the zucchini and squash. So that's
it looks
next.
so good.
So they'll be there for 10 minutes. They'll come out, and then I'll put the zucchini and squash and little peas on there with some walnuts on top, and then it'll go in for 5 more minutes, and then they're done. You just drizzle this. We have some really, really good balsamic vinegar. The balsamic vinegar and the basil on top, and it's done. It's so easy. And then I'll move on to the cilantro sauce for the salmon. So you guys can keep rolling.
All right. So Teddy, did you have any questions for Dr. Ann Bauman, or?
I think you answered them. I feel like you had a lot of good questions, and I came in when you guys were talking about self-care. You guys were talking about self-care. And I feel like that's really important right now, just being cooped up. I'm in my apartment right now, nowhere to really go. I'm doing classes online, and I feel like self-care is definitely something that's necessary right now. So I feel like that's really important to talk about.
I think you're really right. Everyone's feeling this. I think you're really right. Everyone's feeling this, this exhaustion from the pandemic. And I know sitting in online classes all the time is not easy and not fun. So being able to give your body and your mind a rest is so important. That's where exercise comes in. And if you don't do it, I highly recommend yoga. You can do it anywhere, and it's just wonderful. During this pandemic, I took my 200-hour yoga teacher training. So now I'm a yoga teacher.
So cool.
Because I just love it so much. It's fun.
Yoga in my bathroom.
Awesome.
I love hot yoga. So if I'm doing it by myself, I do it in the bathroom with the heater on. If I'm doing it with friends, we're in the hallway together. So that is so cool. I love that. So Teddy and Ellie, what are you guys doing for exercise?
I can go. I actually can show you. I went a little crazy the other day and figured out I needed exercise weights. So I just do exercises in my room now because there are not a lot of gyms here in East Lansing. So I just thought, why not just do it in my room? And it's 20 minutes a day, and it's definitely been helping me because you just need to move a little bit sometimes. You can't just be sitting all day, every day. So I've been doing that.
Yeah.
And Ellie, what have you been doing?
I go to the gym 3 times a week, hopefully, and work out, cardio, and lift weights. And if I don't get to the gym 3 times, I end up doing like a high-intensity yoga in my room, and it's a very small room, but it works. And the first time I did it, I was out of breath. I haven't done high intensity yoga in so long. I was sweating, and I'm like, yoga's supposed to be relaxing, but it was a good workout. I was sore after. All those chaturangas, it like worked out my life.
It's hard.
Chaturangas.
You will build up your biceps and your triceps, all of that, right? Yeah, very true. Very true. That's great.
Let's see. I'm trying to see what I'm supposed to do.
You will build up your biceps and your triceps, all of that, right?
Right.
It's very true. It's very true.
Oh, I also have to give a shout out to my mom now that we're speaking about yoga, because my mom is 86. And when I go to visit her every week, we wake up and do yin yoga together. And every morning I'll walk out and say, do you want to do it? And she goes, no. And I said, yeah. I say, yeah, I never want to exercise in the morning either, but guess what? We're doing it. So she does it on her bed. That's where she's most comfortable doing it. And so we just get flexible together. So Mom, I want to give you a shout out. Stevie Drake has joined us. Stevie, this is Dr. Ann Bauman.
Hello. Heard a lot about you. Nice to meet you.
Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. I don't see you, but I hear you. It's great.
You can't see me?
Yeah,
See ya.
I can see you. I can hear you. Dr. Mary Ann Bauman is right in the middle.
That is super.
I love it. So good. So, Stevie, we were just giving you a shout out.
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, hello. Nice to meet you. I don't see you, but I hear you.
I got a hot dog right now. But it was really nice to see you, everybody.
Bye, Ellie.
Bye.
Okay. So,
Not to add any more.
yeah, not to add any more confusion to the sound issue, but Steve's gotta actually
I got work to do,
do
people.
something back here. Stevie, before you joined, I was giving you a shout out for going to your internist. Dr. Bauman is a board certified internist. She practiced for 25 years. And Stevie made an appointment with his doctor, not at a prompt from mom. This was all on him with his long list of things to go over. So I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you, Mom. Needed to get done. Just need to do adult things now. No.
And Dr. Bauman, you'll love this. Stevie was the one that inspired us. As a parent, you understand that your children are your most important teachers, right? So Stevie is the one that inspired us to hit the gym first thing in the morning and also meal prep. So
That's
Stevie,
very
do you want
good.
to talk about that?
Very good. Did you get some good answers to your questions?
We went through everything and we're sitting good. But Mom, you want me to talk about my meal prep?
Yeah, well, I was just saying that you were the one inspired us to meal prep and to go to the gym first thing in the morning.
Right, yeah, because what was the reasoning behind that? So it was in high school, and I think I just didn't like. You know what it was? It was because EGR hired this. They don't want to say anything new or anything, but they hired someone to help the football team lift weights, and this guy took over the entire gym after school, so you couldn't go in there and do your own thing. Like, he would just get in your face and tell you to do what he thought you should do. Like, I
remember him.
And I was just like, this is so stupid. Like, let me do my own thing. So that made me so mad. So I ended up going to the gym in the morning. I go to MVP in the morning before school, and it was nice because it was like a set routine. I mean, it still was when I went after school, but it was the morning crew. It was the breakfast club over there. There'd be the same people there every morning, and we all see how each other's doing and stuff. And it's just nice to be able to get your workout out of the way before you go to work, because then it's not like you're waking up to just go to work. It's just like work is part of your day, or school is part of your day, or something. And then when you're tired at the end of the day and you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym. You already went to the gym, so you could fall asleep right when you get back to work if you wanted to. I just feel like it's a smarter decision to go in the morning, in my opinion.
And Stevie also does yoga.
I do yoga sometimes. Sometimes. I used to do it a lot because I have bad shoulders, so it's nice to stretch them out. And I figured, why not just do yoga? You can get abs and stuff when you do it. But I don't have that time no more.
Well, Dr. Bauman, one of the things I was going to ask you to go over with Stevie, he's just out of college, just starting his career, and for the first time in his life, he is in an office from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Well, that's not true. I had internships for 5 summers in a row.
Well, yeah, I guess this is a little more regular, and I feel like you're feeling a little bit more. So what advice would you have for young adults starting out, making sure that they stay healthy and are working, but also taking care of themselves, like 20-year-olds just starting out?
You're never going to have time, so you got to kind of force it in there.
Yes, we can hear you.
I think that the first thing I say is
Mhm.
you do have a tendency to put this all the time, and the more you can move around and get up or take a break and just walk around your office or even do a standing desk, that's very good. The other thing I want to mention is the sugary beverages, sodas, energy drinks. I really want to mention that is something that American Heart Association is very much involved in now in decreasing the amount of that because we Americans do so much sugar. And
Tell you, I think that.
we get from those sugary
Will you
beverages.
hearing me fine?
And
Okay.
sugar
I think that the is we do have a tendency to sit at desks all the time, and the more you can move around and get up or take a break and just walk around your office or even a standing desk, that's very good. The other thing I want to mention is the sugary beverages, sodas, energy drinks. I really want to mention that is something that American Heart Association is very much involved in now in decreasing the amount of that because we Americans eat so much sugar and that we get from those beverages, and they have nutritional value. And the risk
What do you guys? Are you guys soda drinkers?
Making you more prone to gain weight. So we think of it from the obesity standpoint. But the sugar, especially the fruit in those drinks, is in and of itself can damage the heart. It can increase your bad cholesterol. It can increase the risk of high blood pressure. In and of itself, regardless of whether you're normal weight or overweight. So for young people, is drinks, the energy drinks, the milk drinks have some benefit, but they have a lot of sugar in them. So the ones with less sugar would be better for you.
So we're having
Are you a soda drinker?
Yeah, so we're having a little bit of a delay. So I have to keep turning the volume of the speaker up and down. That's why Dr. Bauman is joining us via phone. We're having a technical issue. But my question to Stevie and Teddy is, do you guys drink soda?
Mom,
No.
Can you mute?
We tried everything.
For audio inputs.
We tried everything. So we just have to wait for the delay. I know. Just deal with us. So
yeah, I do. I drink.
You do? What do you drink?
What do I drink?
I've never seen you drink
No,
soda.
I don't drink. Well, like on the weekends, I'll like get a soda. I had a soda.
Like once a week.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like against soda. Like I know it's terrible. I know like if you take all like the liquid out and you show just how much sugar, it's like ridiculous.
It's like gross. That's what I think about.
I am so bad at putting sugar in my tea and coffee. I'm so.
Why?
Because I
You
just
put a lot?
I just get into these zones where I like can just like drink straight up black coffee. And I'm like, oh, it's fine, but then I like shove sugar in it and make it taste better. But I feel like I'm healthy enough by that it doesn't really matter. But I think it's important to at work to drink water, just because you're gonna forget. Like there's times where I'm like, oh my goodness, I haven't eaten in like the first half of the day. I'm like, I just start like chugging water because what I do is I have this big Yeti tumbler. It's got a decent amount of liquid capacity in it, so I drink one in the morning and then right at noon, if it's not gone, I chug it, or whenever I'm eating lunch, and then I fill it again for that second half of the day. I think that's important. And also, like, making sure you're eating, like, some people just, like, don't eat at work. It's like, you gotta put something in your body. Like, breakfast is very important. And definitely lunch. You need 3 meals a day. It doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight, gain weight, at least 3 meals a day. You just make them healthy and make sure you're getting healthy food in.
Stevie, I think that's a really good point. I'm going to turn the speaker down so we don't get feedback. Dr. Bauman, what do you say to those people that pretty much drink coffee all day until they go home, and then they eat way too much dinner, because that seems to be a common theme with people that I talk with all the time. I'm sure being an internist for 25 years, you heard the same thing, and Stevie just brought that up.
Yes, I do, definitely. And it was a little hard for me to hear, but I think I got most of what you were saying, Stevie. Yes. I think that drinking a lot of caffeine, actually drinking coffee has been shown to have some benefit. I am not a caffeine user and have swore off of it years ago, but I do have to say that there's data now that suggests drinking some coffee does not hurt you and may actually be helpful. Putting a lot of sugar in it, putting a lot of other sweet things in it is not the way to do it. Same with your tea. As far as eating, you know, one of the things when you're working, people will often just call in and get carry-out kinds of things or go to a restaurant. And there you're getting high sugar, high fat, high salt food. So bringing your own lunches for those meals is very, very helpful in order to keep that healthiness going. And then when you do get home, eating a reasonable dinner so that your suppers are maintaining your calories that you need through the day, but you're not overwhelming at one meal or another.
I wish you guys could smell this.
Look at the color.
Look at how beautiful it is. So many different colors. So I knew you were very passionate about drinking your calories and all that extra sugar that people are consuming. Some maybe sounds like Stevie knows, but he still does it anyway. But some people just don't even realize the amounts of sugar that they are consuming.
Yes.
One thing that Teddy does that I think is really good, and I forget about it all the time, she loves hot water. She loves hot water with a little lemon in it. She just drinks it all the time.
I do the same thing. Yep.
I do the same thing. Yeah.
So that is a great habit that she has. And yeah, it's kind of a bummer at a restaurant to order hot water. They never even really know how to give it to you. They're so used to ice water. But in the email that went out, if you received the email, great. If you didn't, you can always text you can always go to www.dfam.life or text the phone number below 616-344-4401, and the recipes and everything, Dr. Bauman's complete bio will go directly to you. But the thing I wanted to bring up was included in that email was a great infographic from the American Heart Association talking all about those sugary beverages, and so much great information in that one little infographic about being really conscious about what you're drinking.
Absolutely. And I also would like to talk a little bit about salt and high blood pressure, if that's something that we can talk about a little bit, because that is a big one also.
We as a family, growing up, that we had to definitely watch that. My dad had very high blood pressure.
I would love to talk about this because everyone knows I put so much hot sauce.
And there's a salt in our diet, our bread and some pastry. Do not realize we don't necessarily taste salt. Start reading labels.
Did you say in soda?
No, I said in your breads and pastry.
No, I said in your breads and pastries.
Thanks, Tom. I didn't know that either. Did you guys know that?
So watch your bread.
No.
Yes.
No. All the carbs that in general people consume. It's everywhere. So everything is ready. Probably
yes, exactly. Watch your bread.
Blessings in my life has been the fact that I realized years ago I needed to stay away from gluten. So I think inadvertently it helped me with a lot of other things, just make some better choices for my body. Not everybody is, but for my body, staying away from that kind of thing. So Stevie and Teddy, did you have any other questions for Dr. Bauman or anything
No,
else
it's
that
so
you want
nice
to
meeting
discuss?
you. It was so nice.
I guess what I was thinking earlier, I should have asked earlier, but Dr. Bowman, what would you like to see in like a lunch? Like what kinds of, I don't know what kind of food is the best question, or just like what should you be eating during the day to stay healthy? Because I know I'm eating just like shoving protein and carbs in, and I know that's not like I don't know if it's what I'm putting is the best thing. So what is your opinion on what stuff you should be putting in your body?
Great.
Well, that is a great question. And I would say that, first of all, salad, as long as you're careful about what you put in your salad and what you put on your salad. I always say use the minimum amount of dressing that you need to be able to enjoy it. But adding the vegetables.
That is a great question. And I would say that, first of all, salads, as long as you're careful about what you put on that you need to enjoy it. But adding the vegetables in your salad, not necessarily all of the meats. I think that you can do a fish sandwich as long as your fish is grilled is an excellent way to get a good lunch. What I would stay away from are, as we've talked about the sodas, I would stay away from the pastries because it is not healthy. If you can get beans, rice, kinds of things and brown rice, kinds of things that we find, some of the Asian foods are pretty high in salt, so you have to be a little bit careful about that. But you can find some selections that will work for you.
That is some great advice. The Asian food is really interesting because our family loves Asian food. I know Teddy loves it, and Thai food, which I know a lot of times you can feel it after you eat, especially if you're not making it at home. You can get it in your face the next day, the amount of salt.
Yeah, you can. That's exactly right. And another thing I just want to mention is how much water do you drink? Because it's different for different people. But if you when you go to the bathroom and you urinate, if your urine is clear, then you know you're drinking enough fluids and it's not super concentrated. So that's one little tip. Maybe not a usual, but one little tip that will help you understand that you're drinking enough water.
So you said, sorry, I think we could have been having some feedback there. So you said when you go to the bathroom, your urine should be clear?
Yes, it should be clear, not a deep yellow or gold, because that means it's more concentrated, which means you're not taking in enough fluid.
So what happens, let's talk about when people get the right amount of water in their body, all of the things that happen in your body that are beneficial. So I think that's such an interesting visual. And what I loved about when I was doing some research on you is that you take very scientific jargon and you make it easy for the rest of us to understand. So let's get some visuals on what that water does for our body.
Well, first of all, our bodies are mainly the highest percentage is water. So we're replenishing our cells. Water is part, obviously, of our blood, so we're circulating that. Our kidneys need a good balance. They will balance out the fluids, but it is harder on the kidneys if there's not enough fluid. And interestingly, sometimes if you're not drinking enough fluid, you're more prone to swelling of your legs. You're changing the programs, and we tell people who have some swelling in their legs, sometimes we tell them to drink more water. Now, not always. Some people with heart problems like heart failure, that is not the way, and we have to restrict. But for other people who have normal kidney function, you might tell them to do that. So you're just hydrating every part of your body. Your skin will be better. Because it has the fluids that it needs, that water, and it just all around will make you feel healthier and be healthier.
That is counterintuitive that if someone's having swelling that you would want to drink more water. How do you get people to think differently on that? Do they just
Well, I do think that again, I want to make sure it depends. I don't want everybody to go out there and drink water if you have leg swelling, if you have something like congestive heart failure, because that's a different situation. That's where the heart is not pumping well enough to push the blood forward, so it backs up through the lungs and into the legs. But for a lot of people, especially when you're traveling, for example, and you're sitting for a long period of time, you get some pooling of the fluid in gravity, pool it in the lower extremity. So if you drink more fluids and get up and move and walk, those muscles help to move that fluid up, and you'll feel much more comfortable. So drinking water is just critical. It is just critical, and it's so easy. It is easy to do.
One of the things that I want to talk about since Stevie's on is Stevie's 28% to goal for his financial goal. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss, so congratulations, Stevie, that is awesome.
It's not going too good, I'll be completely honest. Trying to save for a piano and also rebuilding 3 motorcycles don't go hand in hand. So I might need to take a week off of saving just to replenish the savings account. But it's I know I'm grinding. I'm trying to get that money. But yes, I'm sorry. Continue, Mom.
28%.
Yep.
That's terrific. That's really you've had your head in the game for sure.
He did, and I was at the bank on Friday, and I was waiting to go through the outside, I don't know what you call it, whatever, when the thing gets sucked out. And I saw a big sign that it said like automatic savings, and they had some cute name for it. And I took a picture of it and I said, Stevie, is this what you're doing? And he said, yeah, that's exact, because we use the same bank. And he said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. So it's automatic. It comes out of his paycheck and goes right into his savings. But one of the things that I wanted you to talk about is financial stress. And you were talking about mind-body connection way before anybody else. So you were a pioneer in that. So what do you have to say about financial stress and the health of a body?
You know, it's interesting that our bodies have a system called the fight or flight system, the sympathetic nervous system. And when it is activated, you release substances like epinephrine, which is adrenaline, norepinephrine. And our bodies do not necessarily distinguish what kind of stress we are experiencing. In our evolutionary past, it may have been away from something. But now a lot of the stress is just what we're talking about here. It can be financial stress. It can be stress in your job, stress in your home. And the sympathetic nervous system gets excited and gets activated. So you have all of this adrenaline and all floating around, which squeezes your blood vessels, because you need that squeezing if you're in some sort of a physical stress situation to run and to do it. But now we're in that stress all the time. And that plays havoc with our body. And so taking off the financial stress by doing it in a gradual way that you don't even really feel, because you never see the money you're putting away. So you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have this or I don't have that. You learn to live on what you do have while you're saving. And so you're really saving in parallel with everything else that you're doing, rather than saving for a house, saving for this, saving for that. You're doing it all at once, and it takes the financial pressure off, which lets your sympathetic nervous system relax.
There you go.
There you go. So you're doing the right thing, Stevie. Good job.
I hope so.
Absolutely. It's impressive.
Yep.
So Stevie, was there anything else you wanted to add or ask? We're almost done. You guys, how easy was that dinner? We didn't have to do anything. Stevie, is there anything you wanted to ask or add before we put a bow on this Valentine edition?
No, I'm kind of embarrassed. I should have had a list of, because there's a lot of stuff I like to know about the body, but I should have made a list. But maybe next time I'll make a list. But no, I do not have any questions.
Maybe we'll get my sound worked out the next time too. I'm sure it's on my end.
Well, and Dr. Bauman, will you come back and visit us again on Meal Prep Sundays?
I would love to. I've really enjoyed this. This has been marvelous. And I've enjoyed the pictures of the food. I've enjoyed meeting your family, and it's been a great conversation. And thank you for working with me on the summit.
This has been such a wonderful project to do all together as a family, and to be able to meet people like you that are out there doing the important work, and you have been doing it for decades upon decades upon decades. So thank you for everything that you do. Is there anything, Dr. Bauman, that you would like to add before we call this show a wrap?
I would just like to tell everyone, go to heart.org. That's the American Heart Association website, and see what's there. You'll see tips for eating, for exercising, for de-stressing. You'll see the latest research. It really has a wealth of information that is very usable. So I would recommend heart.org. And you can also go to goredforwomen.org to hear what we're doing also for women's health.
Thank you so much. And do you want to say anything about all this wonderful food?
No, I just, such a wonderful dinner that we're going to have, and it's all from the American Heart Association Cookbook, which is a fantastic tool. It's the new one. It's the new American
Probably
Cookbook.
not this one.
This one from 1978 or whatever.
Right, 73.
It's great. And thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. And thank you for all the work that you do for the American Heart Association.
Oh my gosh, you've done so much. You've been an incredible spokesperson and ambassador for the American Heart Association. And next week, Dr. Bauman, we get to have Taylor Dane, Grammy-nominated musician,
Wonderful.
author Taylor Dane. She is also an ambassador, spokesperson for Go Red.
Wonderful. That'll be a great show.
So much fun. So happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Remember, if you want these recipes that we discussed tonight, please go to www.dfam.life for those recipes. And if you thought tonight, you found value in what we discussed here tonight, please take a minute to like, comment, share. The world needs this information. We're all in this together, and we can all help each other live healthier, happier lives with healthy hearts.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night, everyone.